Hello there, homebound hobbyists and quarantine collectors. It's auction closing night. I'm Michael Provenzale, the production manager at Heritage Sports, and on my right, the hurliest, burliest, most enthusiastic man in the hobby, Mr. Tony Giese. Tony, how you doing tonight?
I would give you the biggest hug in the
Miss you. We will get back to that one day.
At some
Soon
point.
enough.
At
Soon
some
enough. But it's a very exciting night for us. Our auction is closing tonight, tomorrow, and Friday. Game used, whatever you can think of. We've got some paintings, Tony. How about that? Fine art in a sports auction? We've got it.
I can't wait to talk about that. Absolutely.
You're not watching a game over there, are you?
No.
The last episode of Last Dance? All right.
Oh my God, we'll be talking about that, I'm sure, as well.
So we're in an undisclosed location. Tony and I are not allowed back in the offices. So we're in a secret bunker. And unfortunately, we don't have the items in hand, but we're going to have some images for you to look at as we talk about all the highlights. We're going to take you through extended bidding tonight, talk about the things that are rising up the charts, some hidden gems, our favorite items, and we have some special treats that we've prepared as well for tonight. So it's going to be a long ride. If you're at home, I'm quite certain most of you are at home right now. Grab a tasty beverage, a snack, and enjoy as we take you through our May Collectibles auction. Tony, are you excited?
I can't
Rhetorical
wait.
question.
Exactly.
I know you're excited, Tony.
I want some beef jerky and Mountain Dew, though. I don't think Taylor brought any for us.
Well, who's Taylor?
There's time. Just some guy.
No, that guy over
some
there.
guy walking down the street, I think.
Right. Don't worry, plenty of Mountain Dew and beef jerky hidden in this bunker somewhere. We'll see if Tony can find it. He's going to have to decipher a series of clues, each more devious than the one before it. So that should be exciting.
Ooh, boy.
But it's a very exciting night. We know you are all excited. If you're watching on our Facebook page, you can comment, ask us questions. If you'd like an appraisal, we'll give you an appraisal right now. As you know, Heritage gives free appraisals on any item in any category. Hey, let's stump Tony with a fine art appraisal, perhaps. See what he can do with that.
I'll do my best.
But thank you for joining us. We're glad you're here. We're glad to interact with you guys. Everybody now is used to sitting at home and watching talking heads. And tonight, you're going to watch them talk about some once-in-a-lifetime items. And so let's start with a pre-prepared video. And you may find yourself bidding on a Topps wax pack. And you may find yourself bidding on the hottest card in the world. And you may find yourself enjoying the feel of a gamer from Curly Neal. And you may win yourself a Babe Ruth bat with home run provenance. And you may ask yourself, well, when does it ship here? Letting the bids come in. Look at this cob I found. Letting the bids come in. Opening of Cooperstown. Into the app again before the clock is gone. Extended bidding time. Look at this treasure I own now. And you may need to find Ali fight-worn gloves. And you may acquire a bevy of championship rings. High bid will get yourself a team-signed ball, no clubhouse. And you may wow yourself with how nice Lou Gehrig writes. Letting the bids come in, 58 Topps Jim Brown. Letting the bids come in, world records going down. Into the app again before the clock is gone. Once you bid one time, know we're the best auction house. Same as it ever was. 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 Letting the bids come in, Yelich rookie chrome. Letting the bids come in, Robinson stealing home. Into the app again before the clock is gone. Extended bidding time, look at the treasure I own now. Letting the bids come in, Jim Mint LeBron. Letting the bids come in, ring the Raiders won. Into the app again before the clock is gone. Extended bidding time, look at the treasure I own now. And you may ask yourself, what is that Wilt rookie at? You can bid yourself on a Babe Ruth signed bat. And you may win yourself a Kobe rookie refactor. And you may tell yourself, my God, I have just won. Letting the bids come in, Joe D. Worldwide Gum. Letting the bids come in, rookie Joe Jackson. Into the app again before the clock is gone. Extended bidding time, look at the treasure I own now. Letting the bids come in, Raptors title ring. Letting the bids come in, gamer from Kareem. Into the app again before the clock is gone. Once you bid one time, know we're the best auction house. Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. Look where my bid was. My bid isn't holding up. Time to bid it up. Same as it ever was. 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 Letting the bids come in. Same as it ever was. Here the winning bids come. Here comes the winner. Letting the bids come in. Letting the bids come in. Letting the bids come in. Bid just one time. Oh, and we'd like to thank our VP Rob Rosen who wrote that gem right
Beautiful.
there. He's always supportive and one of the best creative minds we have in the hobby. So thank you, Rob, for that. Now, I told you we were going to have a lot of fun, and we've got.
That's a great start, first of all.
Yeah, well,
Okay, that's amazing.
I mean, we can do more songs if you want. Maybe later we're going to do a musical interlude. We're in the right place for it. I'll say that. The only hint I'll give to our location. But we've got a lot of incredible items to talk about, and we're going to start right now with one of my favorite items in the auction. This is the 1910 T210 Old Mill Series 8 Joe Jackson in an SGC BG Plus 3.5. Incredibly rare card, Tony, and this one is fresh to the hobby. Amazing story behind it. It comes from a family in Raleigh, North Carolina. Our consignor got it from his father, who got it from his great uncle, and they said it's been in the family since it came out of the cigarette pack.
That's awesome.
So
That's
it's
just awesome.
true family legacy. They had an entire collection of amazing vintage cards, contained almost 600 T206 white border tobacco cards, and almost 90 of these T210 Old Mill cards. The consignor said they were kept in what he'd call a lunch pail. So T210 series is the largest set of insert baseball cards produced since the Old Judge. And it even outnumbers the famed T206 collection by over 100 cards.
Wow.
And we've done a lot of that with David Hall lately, his collection, so we know how voluminous the T206 is. And but the T210 are so rare and so hard to acquire, especially this Joe Jackson, which of course is the key card in the set. Jackson is part of the 8th and final series of the promotion, and he's depicted with the New Orleans Pelicans.
The minor league team, right?
Yeah, not the basketball team, Tony.
Oh!
I know that's right where you were going.
Okay.
But yeah, hard to believe. Baseball's most natural and possibly greatest hitter was sent back to the minors after just 10 games with Philadelphia. So this is a minor league card, and to call it rare is an understatement. PSA and SGC have graded a combined 6,500 from the 8th series, and Jackson is represented by less than 20.
Wow.
So everybody loves Joe Jackson. It's the mystique, it's the infamy of it, and this is one of the most iconic cards in the hobby. The finest recorded example is a VGX plus 4.5. SGC has graded 9 of these, and this is the lone VG plus with only 3 higher. And you gotta love that backstory.
Yeah,
from the family.
I was just gonna say that too, and you and I say this all the time. You're buying the piece, but you're also buying the story, how it got passed down from generation to generation, and this is the first time that it has ever seen an auction, and it's exciting to when you to see that stuff that you would never see other than in a heritage auction.
We're lucky to work here.
We are. We get to see quite a bit of cool items.
And so it's taken more than a century for this card to find a new home, but it's going to find a new home tonight. It's currently at 320,000.
Wow.
So people recognize how important this card is and how rare it is. We've been lucky to see a couple, but just an unbelievable card, and love the backstory, and congratulations to that family.
Oh,
We're going to be selling the rest of that collection throughout the summer, so we'll let you know when those come up. But as you know, Tony, that is not Shoeless Joe's rookie card. It's a minor league card, but we do have an example of his rookie card in the auction tonight. This is the 1909 E90 American Caramel Joe Jackson. This one's a PSA Good 2, and this one also fresh to the hobby example. Totally new. He's one of the most complicated legends of our national pastime. Banished from baseball, of course, kept out of the Hall of Fame. You think he should be in, Tony?
I don't think he's going to get in. I just think, baseball and gambling, when you mix those two together, that's you just don't come back from that. And there's been so much talk about Pete Rose someday getting in, and I just think that's one thing. It's such a time-honored thing. It's
going to be hard to reverse.
It's going to be very, very difficult, especially because it's from so long ago.
And part of the story is that he's not in there.
Yeah, it is.
It would be a huge story if he got in, but it almost adds more to baseball's mystique to have him out.
Mm-hmm.
And this rookie card is one of the most prized relics of the hobby. This is a solid example of his key rookie card from the Caramel series. While his exploits with the Indians and the White Sox are well known, he actually started in the big leagues with the A's, and he's 20 years old here. Mm-hmm. The illiterate laborer from the South.
It was a big culture shock for him, I think, and that's why he got sent back down to the minors, because I don't think he was quite ready for the big city.
Definitely not.
He was a country guy, and he had some problems getting along with some of his managers and some of the owners early on, but he figured it out, and
yeah, he went on to do okay.
He was okay. He was
first rookie to bat over 400 this season.
And didn't we sell that bat?
We did.
We did, yeah. We sold it
for over 400,000. Black Betsy.
Black Betsy.
So just over 90 examples appear in the PSA population report, and this is in the superior half as a PSA 2. No major creases or wrinkles, and rounded corners and general wear must be forgiven in light of how rare it is. So the estimate we had was 20,000. It's at 20,000 right now.
Wow.
But given its importance, I wouldn't be surprised to see it go higher.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, a lot of people wait till the end of bid, of course, and that's when all the fun begins.
We got a comment online. Dean says, "Hey boys, and awesome start."
Oh,
hey,
thank you,
thanks.
Dean. Thanks for watching.
I didn't dress for the occasion quite as much as Mike did.
You never do, Tony. You never do.
He also wants to know if Mike takes song requests.
I do take song requests. They can go through my agent, Rob Rosen, who sets all that up, but absolutely we take song requests.
You don't want to hear me sing.
We've got some more coming up, and there may be a little more music in tonight's show a little later, though. But I've been stealing the spotlight here, and you're the star,
Hey, you're
Tony.
doing such a great job, Mike. Hey.
You're the star, Tony. What do you got over there? What
Starting
do you want
off,
to talk about?
1969 Topps, Reggie Jackson rookie card, mint 9 grade. Out of the ones graded less than 1% have received this grade, and the biggest issue with cards, of course, from the 50s and 60s is centering, and this one is very well centered, strong corners, just a beautiful rookie card of a very young Reggie Jackson, who would become Mr. October And Star was
He's little October in this image. That's for sure.
he's very young. I actually saw him at a show a few years ago, and he looks like he could still play.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Let's get him back out there.
I could not believe how he looks so good yet. That he looks like he could still play. It's at 13,000 right now, but quite a bit of action, and like we said before, a lot of people get involved, kind of waiting in the weeds, and
It's a good tactic. I'll say
it
that.
is.
Just a reminder, you got to have your bids in before extended bidding to take part in that. Extended bidding begins in 2 hours from now for session 1.
And we'll be going over the bid board and letting everybody know what's getting hit. We also have here a very unique card, a 2010 Christian Yelich Bowman Chrome Draft Prospect. Autograph Super Refractor. It's a 1/1 PSA Mint 9. This guy won an MVP in 2018. Would have won it in 19 had he not gotten hurt. He signed a long-term deal with the Milwaukee Brewers, so he'll be there for the long haul. Right now, it's at $23,000 with a $50,000 estimate.
Wow.
The market on newer cards has never been better. Some of these are, of course, 1/1s, and a lot of them numbered to 100 or 150. Just an outstanding market. There's a lot of new investors and a lot of new collectors that are paying big money on these relatively newer cards right now.
Absolutely. Got another question out there?
First, Chris Nearat requests that Pro doesn't sing anymore.
Oh!
We'll file that under maybe.
And Daryl is watching for the first time from Phoenix.
Hey Daryl, thanks for joining us. We're happy to have you. If you have any questions, comments, want to know what Tony's going to be snacking on tonight, that's always a topic everyone's interested in.
I am very
Please
hungry
let
right
us
now. I'm not going to lie, Mike.
That could be said always, Tony.
I'm fading fast, boys. I'm fading fast.
So, I love the T3 Turkey Reds, and we have some great ones in this auction. So I'm going to talk about 2 of my favorites.
Very vibrant colors, I'll say that. And it's an oversized issue. I just love that.
Yeah, beautiful cards. So this is the Turkey Red Christy Mathewson, number 27. It's an SGC 80. There are none higher. Really captures the nobility of the gentleman athlete, this image. That idyllic backdrop, playing field, the blue and purple sky. I mean, the T3 set has beautiful aesthetics. Many think it's the most beautiful issue out there. I'm leaning that direction myself, but it's hard to find them and hard to find them in high grades. As you said, it's oversized.
Yeah, it's oversized and they were hard to store these things. It's not like you can go put them in an 8x10 holder or anything like that. And a lot of times they'd get damaged, corner chips and everything like that. But yeah, I love the color on these things. And you've got a lot of Hall of Famers featured in that set too. So just a really nice issue.
Yeah, so this is an SGC 80. Only 3 are graded at that level, and there's only 1 higher. Striking card with very minor corner wear, no toning to the reverse, and it just has remarkable colors which really come through on this set. As we said, beautiful. PSA and SGC census reports, very small percentage at this grade or higher. Across the whole issue. Yeah. So beautiful card. We've got it estimated at 12,000. It's just about at half that right now.
Okay.
And I'm just going to move right on to another one. This is the Turkey Red Walter Johnson, number 99, in a PSA X5.
We're going pitching tonight, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, wow. 2 of the best ones you could have.
We have some great Walter Johnson items we're going to talk about later, but this is a beautiful one right here. The Washington Mound Master in full view, and it's the T206 hands at chest image you may recognize there. Even an unknown player would be impressive if it looked like this. No major faults and some fully acceptable corner and edge wear, as we talked about. They're oversized. No blemishes, no soiling. The registration is precise, and the colors are bold. 110 years later. We should be so lucky, right,
I
Tony?
know.
We're not even
I don't
halfway there.
We're surviving here.
We're surviving.
We're not bad. We're not bad.
So pop 10 in EX, and there's only a pair rated higher. We've got it estimated at 8,000. Just another beautiful card.
Wow. Well, sticking with Christy Mathewson and keeping that theme of pitchers going on, we have a signed check, which one of the toughest Hall of Fame autographs to get. Of course, he died very young, before any people really collected autographs, And some of the ones that did get out there after he died, people would write to his wife requesting to see if she had any of his autograph, and she would send canceled checks. Of course, that didn't last all that long, and once that supply was extinguished, they were all gone.
So does Susie send out a check you've written to all your autograph requests?
I can't tell you the last time that I wrote a check. It's been a long time. I remember having to balance, taking senior living and having to balance the checkbook. That was a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
thank God. Still struggle with that?
I'd imagine we'll get back to that one. But a beautiful signed check. PSA graded the autograph of Mint 9. Right now it's at $13,500 with I believe it's a $20,000 estimate. A great autograph, of course. He was in that first class, and just a very difficult autograph to find.
Absolutely.
And sticking with the pitchers,
yeah, of course,
we have Walter Johnson's actual 1924 Game 7 full ticket from his estate. Of course, he was in the game, and I believe his wife might have been at the game, so this was an extra ticket that would have been his.
Impossible. She came in on his arm, and they just waved her through the gate. She didn't have to. I mean, nobody's stopping Walter Johnson.
No, Walter Johnson could do whatever he wanted, and it was a big deal because Washington was really bad for so long, and everybody just loved Walter Johnson. And when they finally got a World Series, he was, of course, a celebrity and a local hero. And I think the fans gifted him a car after a few weeks after that World Series. So everybody kind of rejoiced for Walter Johnson that he finally got a World Series. And this, because of its lineage, because of having the family provenance to it, right now it's at the reserve amount of $10,000. And just a really cool ticket that has great provenance behind it.
And I'm going to talk about an item that is directly related to that. This is a 1924 Walter Johnson signed photograph, and he dated it October 10th, 1924, which was the day of the 1924 Game 7 of the World Series, which he called his finest moment in baseball.
Wow.
That World Series is one of the most exciting in baseball history. Back and forth, as you said, the Senators were a laughingstock for a long time. It was Johnson's first taste of the postseason, but he lost both of his starts in the series. Game 7, Bucky Harris, the player manager, tied it up, and then in the bottom of the ninth, he gave the ball to Walter Johnson, who was on only 1 day's rest, and he said, "You're the best we've got, Walter. We're going to win or lose with you." They were facing the Giants, who had 8 Hall of Famers. They'd won the NL 4 times in a row. He held them scoreless for 4 innings with runners on base in each inning. He fanned High Pockets Kelly, the RBI leader that season, twice during those 4 innings until Muddy Rule scored in the bottom of the 12th. So his finest moment in baseball, and this is a great photo of him just mid-release right there, and he dated it to the day of Game 7 of the World Series.
It's a classic image, and back during that time period, getting photographs was difficult enough, and then to also have it signed just really adds a nice layer to that one. And
his autograph's valuable in any format.
It is,
but tying it to his 24 World Series victory,
anything related,
sets it apart.
Absolutely.
We have another question.
Dean asks, with Jeter's introduction into the Hall of Fame being postponed, do you feel there will be a jump again in his card prices?
Jeter has been very strong. He's always been strong, but since the Hall of Fame induction is coming around, since he was named, of course we knew he was going to get in. You have seen a jump. They had to push the induction back.
It's going to keep that jump going probably through this year and into next year. So,
and we've seen across the market that, with no sports going on, a lot of people paying attention to auctions, a lot of people still collecting, still looking for what they love. And, it's kind of the only sports story going on is auctions, collectibles, memorabilia. Yeah. Unless you're a Bundesliga fan, they're about to start back up, the German soccer league. But
can't wait. TiVoing that.
Yeah, I think people are still going to be fired up about any sports, anything they can get. And so Jeter just extending the period till he gets in is only going to help his material.
It's going to keep him in the spotlight. all of this year, and of course next year when it gets to be induction weekend, and it's too bad that this year it had to be postponed. We all understand why, but it was going to be a huge, huge weekend there, especially with Jeter, who is unbelievable how he could survive in that city and never have any blemishes or anything like that.
Nothing. It's just like you, Tony. No blemishes on your record.
Yeah, right.
So I'm going to talk about a very old card here. This is the 1887 in 172 Old Judge, one of my favorite nicknames. This is Old Hoss Radbourn. And this is SGC Near Mint 7. He didn't like to have his picture taken, as you can see by his left hand there. But a Hall of Fame pitcher. He had an incredible record of 59 wins for the Providence Grays.
It's not a bad season.
In 1884.
That's almost like a career for some pitchers.
So Providence started with 2 pitchers, Radbourn and Charlie Sweeney. Sweeney got cut, so Old Hoss started 20 games and had a 20-game winning streak. Top that.
I was thinking the same thing.
So great card. Old Judge, of course, is a legendary set. Voluminous is the only way to describe it. New examples still being discovered every day. And this is a very high quality example, and it should do about 12,000.
I know he's almost an impossible signature.
Oh yeah.
You can. I don't know if I've even seen one. He's just one that and such an early ball player. And
If you've got a copy of his signature, please give us
let
a
us
call.
know.
We'll help you out.
I'll
with
fly
that.
to you to see that.
So of late, we've been selling a lot of T206 cards with David Hall's incredible T206 collection. We have part 5 coming up in July. Here's a great T206 example we have in this auction. This is the T206 Jack Bliss, and it has the drum back. It's in an SGC Good 2, and this is the only numeric graded example with the drum back. SGC and PSA have graded over 700 T206 cards featuring Bliss. This is the one and only graded example with the drum back. With the David Hall collection, we've learned how extensive you can get into the T206. T206 collectors are very fastidious, and the different variety of backs is a big attraction for people that collect that, and there's none of these on the PSA census.
I just wonder what Pete Calderon's reaction was when he saw that for the first time.
Oh, he's always just so excitable.
I've never seen that man as excited as one time for T206 with these tough to find backs, and he was a kid at Christmas. I've never seen him like that before or since.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
Oh, I wish I'd had it on my phone.
So the only other example was encapsulated authentic by SGC, as if condition even matters with something this rare. Should do about $6,000.
Up next, we've got a very rare single sign ball, Roger Peckinpah, which you rarely see. If you do see him traditionally, you'll see him on team sign balls or maybe cuts or index cards. But a beautiful, beautiful single sign on a William Harridge ball. Right now, it's at $1,500 with an estimate of $6,000. Just a really, really difficult one to find. And with him being on the 24 World Series team, he's kind of one of the essential guys on that team. And just to find a single of him, incredibly, incredibly hard.
I'm going to stop you for 1 second, Tony.
What do we
all
got?
the excitement, we've got a little technical difficulty. We're going to take a break for a few moments, and
Okay.
we'll be right back.
I was going to say, what, Roger Peckinpah? You're that You can do the Dennis Miller.
Out of here.